We're back here at the patio and we're working on the steps. Stay tuned as I share this fun yet very challenging project with you. Hello friends, welcome to Gardening with Creekside. I am Jenny, and yet again we are back here in the back porch area working on the patio. I know you have been anticipating this video for quite a while because I have all of you fantastic folks asking about it on social media. Bless, one sweet person said, "So Jenny, have you finished it yet?" No, we're not finished it yet, but we are almost finished with the steps. Kind of, sort of. So the steps have been quite a challenge for us to do because it is a really interesting space, and honestly we are just doing it as we go. So we have talked about this space before. Both to my left and to my right we have planting beds, flower beds that are going to run the whole length of the patio. So this is the retaining wall. This is all the height that they are going to be. Then we'll have the patio steps, of course, patio pavers rather, underneath me. This whole section, this curved section behind us, is going to be the steps. So it's been challenging in the figuring out exactly where do the walls end, where does the curve begin, what should the curve be, so forth and so on. Some people said in the last video, well, you could come out straight, do a landing and turn. Just didn't think that was going to work out quite right, and in my head I had always imagined that these steps would come and they would curve and turn down. So this is what the challenge has been, is just trying to take, of course, straight block and make it into a curve and make sure that it's even the whole way through, because I mean these are really heavy stones, and so you've got to make sure that they are level, especially that first course is the most important, that they are level on all aspects. Now, a couple of you had asked about, well, how do you know that these pavers are not going to sink? We have a good bit of gravel underneath. So Jerry has built up this pad with truckloads of gravel. So we have a very firm foundation that we have built this on. Somebody asked even one time about, are we concerned with the planting beds having the dirt up against our brick? We are not. That is not a facade. That is a solid brick wall, because remember, we are in North Carolina, zone 7B, and here we have really red clay, obviously, that you can see, and when you build foundations here, you build them as solid cinder block brick walls. So this is not a facade, it is a solid brick wall that our house basically is resting upon. So when we put our pool here, we had an above ground pool years ago here, we actually had to dig soil away from the foundation in order to get the pool in here level with the back porch. So really what we're doing is putting the soil back to where it was originally when we did build our house. So that is not a concern. We will fill these beds, of course, with good potting soil. Jerry has already put in some drainage pipe, because this will be, you know, a porous wall basically with a stone patio floor, so we don't want water just pouring and seeping out from the wall onto the patio. So at the base you will see those nice big white PVC pipes that have the holes on top of them. We'll do a whole video on that too when we actually plant the beds, but just know that we do have drain pipes in here that will catch the water and send it out of the beds. So we've done that. Also, we have put, when we were building up these walls, we put in what you call like a conduit pipe, which is basically just a channel, so white PVC pipe that runs underneath here that will house both the irrigation hose and I believe it had the electrical line, because we will have landscape lighting in here. So we have all of that piped to go underneath the steps so that we can have one source of irrigation that will run through both beds on the same timer and all of that. Then of course, you can see right here, we have the lighting, the electrical cord that runs through. That's what's tied here to the post so it doesn't get buried. So we're putting all of these things in place. Somebody had also asked about our downspouts. Our downspouts have that black corrugated pipe on it. It's a solid pipe. So any rainwater we get with the gutters, it collects it and sends it out well past the patio down into the yard so it can naturally run out to the yard. So what do we have right now? You can see we have the curved steps. This is obviously a much sharper curve on this side where this is a broad curve. The steps will be more narrow on this side and then they will get wider on this side. And here comes Jerry right now because the next step is to go ahead and start putting in the risers and then forming the steps. So you've got the backfill with all this great gravel. So he's bringing in the gravel. Hopefully he won't knock over the camera on his way out. Excellent. So what will happen is now that we've got gravel in here, we can begin to make our steps in here. We've already figured out, we did a little math, we did a lot of math, and we're gonna have 4 steps in here. So on the left-hand side, the steps are gonna be about 17 inches wide, whereas on the right-hand side, they're gonna be about 30 inches wide. So it'd be kind of a little bit of a pie shape, like a pizza slice, where it's more narrow on one side and wider on the other in order to give us that curve. So we should have 4 exact same size steps, and that they will end right here at the edges of the wall. So praise the Lord, the math worked out great and everything came out perfectly as far as trying to figure out how many steps we were going to have. So how did we figure that out? We took a measuring tape and measured the whole length of those curves. So on this side, we started up at the wall and held the tape into the curve and ended right here, and then divided by 4, and that's where we got the 16.75. So that's how wide that side's going to be. We did the same on the other side and it came out to be exactly 30. To say doing these steps has been a challenge is quite an understatement, and I know we're not done yet. That'll be a whole nother video. But trying to figure out exactly the right curve and how it looks to make it look right and make it look balanced has been a process. Now, are these done perfectly right now? No. As we go, we will make tweaks. We will put caps. Caps are those nice flat stones on top of it, so you won't see the ridges and the pins in there, so it'll be a nice smooth finish and it'll be stepped down. All of these blocks have been, the vast majority of these blocks have been glued down and then they've been pinned. We do that just to make it a really strong, stable wall, because the stone that we're using from Bellegarde, this stone can actually be a freestanding wall. So it's not, it can be a freestanding wall, it can be a retaining wall, it can be used for different applications. So it's okay, it doesn't have to have major reinforcement on the other side to hold it up. Plus, we're not going a huge amount of distance up and holding massive amounts of dirt back. So between the glue, the pins, and then the type of block that we're using, we feel very confident that these walls will be here for years and years to come. So with the beds, obviously this is as far, we need to put a cap on it, just like we have on the other ends, but we have a smooth cap, a finishing cap on the top. And then this whole area will be a planting bed. So the soil will come here basically all the way around. So this part of the wall will be exposed. Same thing on this side, but because there's a wall there, you're not really going to see it a whole lot. But we've already been thinking and planning, trying to figure out exactly how I want to get it planted with all of my plants. I have gorgeous shrubs already from both Proven Winners and the Southern Living Plant Collection that are going to go in here. The Hurricane Zeta just came through here this morning, so all the shrubs have been protected and moved. They're all kind of crammed up on the porch right now just because of the high winds. We didn't want anybody to get knocked off or damaged because they are doing fantastic right now. But as you remember, all the plantings in here will be in that green, white, very light colors, because with this patio we will be out here mostly in late afternoon and evening, because this spot gets really, really hot. Even today, earlier when we were out here, it was toasty. It was quite hot. So we want to go with cool colors, light colors, because we'll have the landscape lighting and we want those flowers to be reflecting of that light to just create a nice, peaceful, tranquil environment. I think I have answered a lot of the comments and the questions that had come up in the first patio video that we did. Just know this is a huge process that Jerry and I are doing it ourselves, and we are working on this area in our free time. So when we're not homeschooling, when we're not running another business, when we're not landscaping, when we're not growing plants, when we're not selling at the nursery or making videos, we're out here working. So that doesn't leave a ton of time, but trust me, nobody wants to get this project done faster than our family does. So just know that we will be diligently working on this. Hopefully from this point on, once we get these steps finally in and get everything capped off, the next thing is that we can do, I can get my plants in the flower beds, because I am just biting at the bit to get those in there. And then after that, we will install the fire pit, because that's a freestanding fire pit. And then we can start laying the pavers down and working our way out. So it will be a process. Stay tuned. Hope you have found this informative, if not comical, and just, you know what, it is real life here, folks, at Gardening with Creekside. And as always, we so appreciate you watching and supporting us. Y'all have a fantastic day. We'll see you in the next video. Bye, friends.